This is NAB Show Live.
Welcome back to day one of NAB Show Live from the glorious Grand Lobby in Central Hall. I'm Brian Seth Hurst. I'm your host for today. And as I said, we've got quite the lineup this week. This is just day one. And we're going to be discussing everything, and you're going to see everything that there is to see on the floor. You're going to see here. You're going to see innovation. We've got a great correspondent staff, great anchor staff. So tune in all week at broadcastbeat.com and nabshow.com. And I'd like you to join with me to welcome my next guest, Hugh Hou from CreatorUp. Welcome, Hugh.
Thank you, Brian.
Hugh and I we first met at Radiant Images.
Radiant Images, yeah.
And I was there for some sort of seminar because Michael Manzuri and the gang there, they always have them.
Yeah.
And you're talking and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, that guy is smart. I would hire him in a minute.
Oh, thank you.
And then I had called you because we were working on a project and I needed an operator, and you said, well, I don't really do that, but I could do that if you needed me to do that. And I was like, of course he could. But then something special. You sent me an email and you said, do you know that we're doing the Special Olympics in Abu Dhabi and we're going to be using Samsung equipment? And I said, no, I had no idea. And I had no idea how big it was. I had no idea. In my estimation, this is the single biggest VR documentary project that has happened to date.
Thank you. Yeah.
I totally believe that because the output is amazing. You've got a number of videos for us to see today. So I'm kind of going to let you drive and I'm going to ask questions. So first I want to say that I'm really, how can I put it, discriminating. And I thought this was just incredibly beautiful work.
Thank you.
So how did this come about? How did the Special Olympics decide that they were even going to do VR?
The story, let's go back to like 3 or 4 years ago. Like, again, Radiant Images, thank Michael. Oh, actually, he has a talk tomorrow. I want to give him a shout out.
Yes, he will be here.
So I learned everything. Like, that's my playhouse. I get all my gears. Well, so I started immersive media around like 5 years ago. Back then, what you do is you have a bunch of GoPro, you duct tape them together.
Yep.
In the garage, and bring it out, start making immersive media. And then I started back then, and then I've just found out that on the internet or on the world, it's not much. I mean, there's an immersive media out there, but nobody actually stand behind the camera to show us how to do immersive media, how to create virtual reality video. What's VR video? What's 360 video? What's a 180? What's a VR 180?
What's stereoscopic? What's monoscopic?
Exactly, like a lot of confusing terms like thrown around on the internet. And not many people teach about it, and that's become a best kept secret in Hollywood or like selective field of expert. So I hit a wall because I want to create immersive media because I think that is the best way to tell story, and it's empathy machine. And you watch that in VR headset, you change the mind of the world, and you literally change the world real. I mean, you can listen to TED Talk, you can watch like Netflix, watch like whatever documentary out there. It's a different feeling if you watch it in VR headset. And that blew my mind. And I want to, as a storyteller myself, and I want to tell story in VR. That's how it started. How I go into Radiant Images, play with their toys, like try to find out how I create VR. And to this point, even today, like there's not much free resources out there available. So that's why I started a YouTube channel to just tell my audience or the world, the internet, how to create immersive media by me making mistake, like doing the dumbest thing, like ever on camera, on YouTube. People commenting, people thumb me down, people hate me, but I start making media, and then the whole channel
It's great that you're willing to show your mistakes because that's how we learn. I don't. In my book, when we do an experiment, I want to make sure, but we don't release experiments. We release what is the top of the line, because not only are there not great resources out there for creators, but because there are not great resources out there for creators, what you're getting is not great content. That's why your content was blowing my mind, because if we want consumers to take up this medium and to go out and purchase a headset or even to watch in YouTube and 360, we have to give them great stories, and we have to give them stories with great production values.
Yeah.
And so we don't want the audience to be turned off, and at the same time, you want them to be inspired because it's an inspirational medium.
Yes.
So you don't just put a camera down in the center of something.
No,
you really
not
have
that
to think about so many different aspects of what your audience is going to experience. When it comes to the Special Olympics, one of the things, you can see a documentary, but you're going to be at arm's length. But when you're inside what you've created, and the first thing I watched was the 50 years, and then I started to watch what you were sending me. I mean, I spend every Friday in a headset, whether it's the Gear VR, or usually it's the Go right now because it's so easy. It's
yeah.
And then I just look, I happen upon stuff and I discover stuff. And I fell upon that knowing that, Dirk Wallace, who was your director, knowing that Dirk was going to be here, I was just curious. But I thought, wow, it is the 50th anniversary of the Special Olympics.
Yes.
People don't necessarily know the impact. And here, if you are in headset and you click on one of your videos, you're going to stay. And that's the secret to great production, because all of a sudden I am looking at this video and I am in it. I'm not going, oh, I've given it 3 seconds and there's nothing interesting. Next. So there's something you were able to capture, the compelling nature of the Special Olympics. And I don't mean this the way it's going to come across, but give us the human experience.
It's a long story, so let's step back. Let's just start from day one when we start this project. We have a couple thing we need to hit pretty hard, and it's a pretty tough, I'll be honest, 100% honest, this is the toughest project I ever take on, because we need to create 30 VR video, not just monoscopic, stereoscopic in at least 5.7K. I know I'm throwing my test stat right there, but it's a high quality video for the live show. And we have a 7-day live show, and we cannot turn the camera on the whole time. So we need these well-produced pieces to fill the hole in between pieces, in between interview. So we set out a mission to create 30 VR videos in 2 months with an 8-person crew in 8 different countries.
It looked like you had a lot more crew than that. I'm going to hold for 1 second.
Okay.
Because did you bring a thumb drive as well?
No, I did not.
You did not, because we're having a technical difficulty. So Christina. I'm going to ask, we're going to step out, we're breaking the fourth wall for a minute. There is a black bag next to the makeup table. In that black bag, in the very top pocket, is a thumb drive on a blue cord. Can you run that into Steve? That's it. Next to the big bag of cash, you just said so. So, as you know, just like in VR, you always got to have a backup plan.
Great, yeah.
So, for whatever reason, there's a technical glitch on the drive that we have. So now we have a second one.
The backup all my stuff on YouTube. So
yep. Well, we can't get to YouTube. That makes it hard. So
okay.
Hopefully we'll be able to get to these. Okay, so an 8-person crew, which I gotta tell you, it looked like the Olympics. It looked like you were producing the Olympics, which they don't do with an 8-person crew.
Thank you, yeah.
But how did you first connect with the Special Olympics?
So I cannot take any credit of this. We CreatorUp have a team. We actually have a Dubai office. So we have a staff. Sean Grant is actually the person to connect with Special Olympics. We pitched the concept. We think that this is 50 years of their game. It's the biggest one they have. And we think that Special Olympics right now doesn't have strong enough social media presence, but it's a great opportunity for them to actually put this in the next level. And as I said, virtual reality is the best way to tell a story. It's an empathy machine to really actually let people to care after watching these pieces. So that's why we set out the mission to create these pieces.
So while we're waiting to line these videos up, tell me a little bit about CreatorUp.
Okay, so CreatorUp is a global digital storytelling academy. We teach people how to tell story. So one of our biggest clients is actually Google and YouTube. So we create a lot of educational video for Google. and also for YouTube as
So
well.
this is traditional video as well.
2D
as the-
video.
okay.
Yeah, it's mostly 2D video. That's how we started as a company business side. I am on the immersive side. So I teach immersive media, how to create immersive content on the tech side. So not really storytelling, just on the tech side, what camera to pick, what software you're gonna use to make it really look great. So that's our company do, mostly on the 2D side. And then, yeah, as I said, the YouTube channel is mostly forefronts of creating immersive media.
So you said you have an office in Dubai.
We have an office in Dubai, we have an office in Korea, and our headquarters is in Los Angeles.
So the office in Dubai, because Dubai is the Arab Emirate, UAE,
Yeah.
and Abu Dhabi was the location for the Special Olympics. So is that how that happened?
Yes, kind of. Also, so during that time, we're doing this big project actually for YouTube. So YouTube had this program. So around the world, there's a YouTube space around the world. YouTube, by the way, I want to give them a shout out. They really help content creator. Doesn't get a Hollywood budget, but still give them money and space to create content for free and to grow YouTube, the whole community. So there's a space around the world, YouTube space around the world, that YouTube sent us to teach their local creator how to monetize their content, how to create better content.
In Dubai.
There's an office in Dubai. Yes,
So there's a YouTube creator space in Dubai.
yes. And that's how we got connected.
And were you able to use those resources for your production?
We don't have to because my studio is actually in Los Angeles. It's a YouTube space in Los Angeles. But yes, we can. So any creator have more than 10,000 subscribers can use the space for free, which including red camera, immersive media camera, like Samsung Round, like camera like there. You can use it for free and you can try out immersive media.
So the cameras that you used, you know, a lot of times when you're producing, you want to pick you have to match the camera to the task.
Yes.
So I know that you use the Samsung Round.
Yeah.
And probably next to computers.
Yes.
Yes. And did you use any other camera besides the Samsung Round?
So as a storyteller, I will use anything to help me tell a story. So I am really stand on that point. I don't want to pick side like what camera we use. We use a lot of Samsung Round because that is kind of a Samsung project, especially for a live stream side. But we also use the GoPro Fusion, the Insta360 Pro 1, Pro 2, 1X, Candle Obsidian. We even use a jar. We use any camera available out there we can use. So we have underwater rig, we have drone, we have like camera on a rover with motion impossible, Mantis, and then put camera on top, have stabilization on it. We use any tool available for creator like today. So yeah, that's at least my approach. I don't want to just stuck with one camera. So
I think in immersive media, regardless of what you're doing, you have to have a flexible approach. And I knew when I met you that you were a hacker. So I mean, you have to be able to hack the cameras that you have to make them do what you want.
Yes. Yeah.
The budget for this, where did it come from? Was it from Special Olympics? Was it from?
I am not the one to talk about budget.
Oh, because it looks like you had this massive budget.
Okay, we don't, in fact. It's actually a really small budget.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So for what it looks like, I would hire you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Because what you got out of those cameras and in post, and I know you said you're only in getting it out in mono now, but you're working in the stereoscopic.
Yeah.
But even what you've got is just, that's amazing.
So there's a lot of work. I can't take any credit. That 8-person team. So one thing about virtual reality right now is really depend on who you hire. You can have a big crew in Hollywood, but sometimes that project never see the day of light because it just get really expensive post-production. So you need somebody to understand the entire, like Dirt, we just mentioned about our producer. He's been in Riot and been in many companies and produced a lot of documentary. So he can have the vision to see like what is the cost of this project for each single piece and how to scale it down to hire the right person to do the job. So we really cut the cost down. And I think immersive media, it gets so expensive. It's usually because you cannot hire the right person to do the right job.
Yes, because you're paying for mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's part of, to me, it's so great that you're teaching, but I do believe that who you hire, they have to have storytelling in their gut.
Yeah.
So for example, in live, because I produce live as well, I basically trained one of our voices operators to say to him, the voices allows you to put 2D and different things in, different elements, objects and elements, graphics and IMAGs and stuff into the 360 sphere.
Picture in picture,
But then to say to the operator, you have to understand that you're a storyteller. So where you're placing it, what you're showing, what you're bringing in is all part of the story. So you can't think like a technician, you have to think like a storyteller.
Exactly. Especially in VR, there's a two ways to tell a story in virtual reality. Usually I teach in ABCD about how to tell story in VR. There's a two way to approach it. You can have POV, but POV is not the only way.
I can't stand POV.
Yeah, sometimes it depends on who produces it.
And it also depends if it's right for the story. It's
Exactly. POV become a gimmick because a lot of big companies, when they approach you, they want VR, they have fixated on POV. They say, I want my viewer just experience this story, and he can go out with your hand and grab stuff, grab a gun, shoot somebody. Like POV become a thing about VR, but it's not the only way. Sometimes tell a compelling story, you can be also a fly on the wall.
Yes, and the other thing is that there is a lot of room for the lessons learned in traditional filmmaking from hundreds of years of that, 150 years of to be brought into that. And a lot of times, filmmakers who have a background in traditional that then come in and they're willing to learn and they're willing to hack can actually make the camera serve the story and create the emotional impact that they need with the camera.
Yeah.
I tell you what I'd like to do, if it's okay in the booth, Steve, if you hear me, I'd like to take like a 5-minute break and just solve the video situation, show some of what we've got going on. Oh, he's importing now. We're gonna take a 5-minute break. We'll be right back in 5 minutes. This is NAB Show Live from the Las Vegas Convention Center.
This is NAB Show Live.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Brian Seth Hurst. I'm your anchor for today at NAB Show Live. We are broadcasting live at broadcastbeat.com and nabshow.com, and we are in the glorious, as I say, grand lobby of the Central Hall, and lots of construction going on behind the walls as the show will open on Monday. And we're back with my guest, Hugh Hou. And we had a little technical difficulty, which is interesting because it's NAB and we really shouldn't have those technical difficulties, but now we're ready to go. So we have all the videos.
Yes.
And I think what we'll do is just we'll start out, we'll play, we'll talk, we'll go to the next one, we'll play, we'll talk, we'll see how it goes. Work for you?
Work for me, yeah.
Steve, roll tape.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Sean.
I'm Helen.
Helen. We have an entire army.
I'm okay. This was when Miles was about 4 or 5 and we were going to a party. I know, it was a lot taller than everybody else.
Hey, Sebastian and Hugh. It's our first interview with Miles, and we're gonna see where he lives and discover him.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Hugh here from CreatorUp. So right now we are in front of the house, and we are gonna fly a drone. So we just finished a shot already, but now just do one more test shot to show you how this works.
We've got our team out here. We want to get a little bit of experience of what Brampton's really like.
So we're currently doing a shot with Miles, doing a handheld 360 shot with an Insta.
Hey everybody, we are here at the training camp in Sheffield, United Kingdom. Right behind me, we have some members from the UAE Embassy that have showed up to help support the organization. And it's just another great example of how Special Olympics is uniting people around the world. And if we take a look back here, we also have our VR team shooting with the men's basketball team, and you'll see one of the athletes we profiled, Miles, getting some work in. Right in the middle of the action, a lot of activity happening, so much excitement. We have our coaches, we have our women's team over here, the men's team, and again, just everyone coming together to make this happen. So thank you, and keep watching. We are here in Sheffield at the Graves Health and Sports Center, where we are seeing Lily, another one of our athletes at home, in her natural environment. She's practicing with the tennis team that's going to be representing the national tennis team here for the UK in Abu Dhabi. We have Mr. Perpendicular. Find him on Instagram.
Love it. That's so good. That's so good.
Let's go.
We are sending a shot to see clearly her technique.
We are with Lily as she's playing a final game of tennis with a private coach before her preparation for the trip to the UAE. We have enjoyed our time. Now time for some partying.
It's called Rover. We use it a lot in physics production. And this thing is by Motion Impossible, called Mantis. This device will give us the motion control of the camera rolling that way from the actor.
Waiting for everyone to hide. It's my favorite part. It's grown men hiding behind small objects.
Last day here in Sheffield, where the group is about to go home. They're all heading out on the trains. We're just gonna get our one final group shot before the end, so enjoy the rest.
There are a lot of people going to Abu Dhabi from Great Britain. I didn't realize quite how large the Olympics are going to be.
Setting up for our very first time lapse, trying to catch the last bit of sun.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna do a 5 a.m. wake up to do a sunrise.
Great. So that first clip, we didn't even let you set it up. But I just want to say one thing. If you go to SamsungVR.com, or you have an Oculus Go, or you have a Samsung Gear VR, or I think even if you have a Rift, you can see it on Rift as well.
Yeah.
You can see all the clips through Abu Dhabi. They're in the carousel right now. So if you have any of those HMDs, or you can watch on the web at SamsungVR.com.
Exactly.
As well, and all the behind the scenes are at the CreatorUp channel on YouTube. Okay, so our next clip is Washington, D.C. Tell us what we're going to see.
Well, so let's go to the first clip a little
Okay.
bit. UK is actually our first trip. That is where we put a team together. We haven't had a full team yet, so it's only camera team. We have no post-production, which is create a data wrangling nightmare. We feel so much with so many. As you see, there's literally 7 cameras. Like,
Were you not coding the cards or anything like that?
We just
that system or?
we haven't built a post pipeline yet.
Oh.
At that point.
Oh.
Because they happen so fast. We literally got the money, got the job, and then Special Olympics say, I gotta put you guys on the play, and this is the one lifetime event. There's a training happening right now. You had to film this.
Gotta do
Let's
what
go.
you gotta do.
We're gonna airplane. We have no carnet, by the way.
No what?
Carnet. So when you bring like equipment from US out of the
Yes,
country,
you have to have the paperwork.
the paperwork. We don't have that yet. It's in that kind of hurry
Oh, gosh.
for the first city. The second city is in US, so it's a lot easier. But yeah, we
Okay,
can.
great. So now we're going to Washington, D.C. What are we going to see?
So what we're going to see is DC is actually the headquarters of Special Olympics. So there we going to interview a lot of key members of Special Olympics, understand the idea behind Special Olympics. And whatever we film, going to go into one of the pieces called 50 Years of Game of Special Olympics.
Which I loved.
Thank you so much. And that is mostly filmed in DC. And we also have like a runner that if you see, and he is the only person we actually like interview. And we actually have more time to really learn about his story, follow his mom, and how he become people of determined, and how he actually conquer like social discrimination and become an Olympian. So it's a great story. We just focus on him, so we have more time to create a more compelling story, and also think a lot easier in US.
All right, let's go to number 2, Steve.
We are at the Special Olympics World Headquarters in Washington, D.C. We're on the third leg of our journey, and things are going really, really well. We have a bigger team. We've brought 2 editors with us. We're now traveling with like 7 or 8 guys and women. We have more equipment, we have more toys, we have drones, we've got rovers, we have smaller gear, we have bigger gear.
This is now again going to be the 50-year anniversary of Special Olympics to celebrate how sports can be a catalyst for change. And I think we're trying to embody that. We had a visit from Tim Shriver, the son of the founder of this organization. So wonderful surprises keep coming to us, and we hope to bring some surprises to you. Just about to do our interview with Mary Davis, the current CEO. We've set up for a very special interview arrangement. I'm going to be hanging over Dirk's shoulder. He's going to be doing the primary interview. And this is a living museum of Eunice Kennedy Shriver, the founder of Special Olympics. So take a look around. We're here at Montgomery College, and we're about to meet with our first athlete here in the U.S., Calvin. He does track and field, and we're going to be meeting him where he goes to learn. And we're going to be following up after this where he goes to train. And if you turn around, you see that we've brought our very warm crew from Los Angeles here to start building robots and the snow, because we thought that's the best way to keep things challenging.
So we are here setting up our stand-up interview. We're interviewing one of the coaches for today. We have a great overview here that we're going to take advantage of. You want to look right there? That's what we got.
Hey, it's Russell Vargo here, and we're at the National Mall filming some 360 video content. We brought 3 cameras with us today. Each camera provides a different solution. So one of them is for time-lapse. We're using the InstaPro 2. We're using the Candow Obsidian R for the standard video, and then we have an Insta1X for some motion shots we'll be using.
We are at the headquarters of Special Olympics International. We were able to get here right in time to get a bit of an interview, catch a soundbite, and also hear some of the practice speeches from these guys. So it's just amazing, inspiring, and be unified.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Emmanuel Souza. I'm from Brazil, and welcome to this great morning that we have planned for you guys. I hope you enjoy it.
We're going to be really quiet Embassy of the United Arab Emirates. And right in front of me are some of the Sergeant Shriver International Gold Vessels. They've just arrived here, and why they've come is they want to meet with a couple of the officials from the embassy, have some lunch, and learn a little bit more about what they can expect when they arrive in UAE.
And now we go from Washington, D.C. to Tokyo. You went to 8 countries. Tell us about Tokyo and we'll run the video.
Yeah, so Tokyo is the most challenging one. Because first, people we interview don't speak English. So our crew is all US crew. So language barrier is the biggest issue. And also space is the second biggest issue. Because filming VR, we need space because our camera equipment is big. It's humongous. And we have nowhere to store our camera, store our post-processing machine. Because this project in such a tight timeline, we need to finish the post while we are moving. So we need to film at daytime. At the afternoon, we're done with transfer. At night, I'm cutting it. And we take turns, so people take turns to sleep.
Oh my God.
So that's what we're doing in all cities, but in Tokyo, because the hotel room is so small, we literally need to put our stitching machine in the bathroom. So we literally
hopefully no one had to go. All right, let's roll Tokyo.
Hello everybody and welcome to Japan. We are here at Tachikawa Arena where the Special Olympics delegation from Japan is able to do a demo game with one of the biggest national teams in Japan, All Bark Tokyo. So as you can see, they've gone all out for our Japanese delegation. These guys are huge and what an honor it is for us to be here behind the scenes at Tachikawa Arena. Right over here, we have the CEO of Special Olympics Nippon. The Special Olympics delegation is going to come out to do a demo game. Then we're going to do a halftime show. They're going to introduce everyone to Abu Dhabi, kind of set the tone for the scale of the World Games and the fact that this is the first time held in the region. And we're welcoming people from everywhere, including Tokyo and Japan. So thank you guys again.
Doing right now is called exposure plane. What it does is we are expose the talent which is stand right here perfectly, but the window will all overexpose. So now we're gonna do it again without the talent, but just the window and expose correctly. So in the post-production, we're gonna cut this whole window out and play it in the original footage to create a not overexposed footage. So that's one of the things that you need to do a lot in 360.
talk about 360 filmmaking. It's just a traditional filmmaking. It actually to capture an establishing shot. Like we are in Tokyo, we interview like the Special Olympic, but we need to let the audience know we are in Tokyo. So that's why today we're running around using our consumer camera and professional camera to capture as many iconic shots in Tokyo as possible. Like the Shinjuku crossing we just did, and like the busy side street in Tokyo. So let the viewer know like where they are. Getting in VR is actually very, very important to let the people know where they are, because the first thing when they put on the VR goggle, people will look around and wondering, where am I? And capture that establishing shot, like establishing there in Tokyo, in a busy Tokyo side street, is very important. So that's exactly what we are doing right now.
Little heads up to the booth, Steve. We're going to go right on to the next clip because it's funny.
Little bit funny.
He talked about his editing challenges in Tokyo. Let's see that.
Hey guys, welcome to our crib. Come on in. Here is our post-stitching studio. Let me just make sure to get the door lock with my flip-flop. So one thing's very challenging in Tokyo particularly is space, because we are moving our post studio with us. So we do fine stitch, rough stitch, fine stitch, editing all on the road. And we have our dedicated editor and me as a stitcher to finish everything. But as this challenging environment we need to finish on the road, one thing really limited us is actually physical space. So come on in. The first thing we see, so be careful, is our bathroom stitching studio. So as you see right there, is the next computer provided by Samsung. Thank you, Samsung. So doing a rough stitch right there, and the PC is literally in the bathroom. And you should just sit right here on the pattern case, typing away and doing my stitching, because we literally have no space in this tiny hotel room. So, with that computer, you see the blue Ethernet cable. So why we have this PC not just a rough stitch, it's also a dump station for one of our camera, the Candle Obsidian art right here, and the blue Ethernet cable connect to this modem right here on the eGPU unit on top of the giant server right here. That is a QNAP server. And one thing about this camera is you can't direct dump directly into our server. You need to connect that to a Wi-Fi, and Wi-Fi create internal network with at least 10 gigahertz per second to transfer footage from the camera into the stitch box right there and stitch. So it's an entire end-to-end pipeline. Now let me introduce you to our superstar editor. Here, Shelby, doing some initial story edit. So he is a story editor. Everything after dumping is go to him after rough stitch, and he will cut everything together. And Shelby right now is actually having some issue with Adobe. Shelby, what's going on?
It just crashed upon opening, so I'm sending them a little message. I want stability, please. It's Valentine's Day. This is a great gift, stability. You can write that code, right? Today.
Happy Valentine's Day, by the way, guys. Yes, we are still working in Valentine's Day. Yes, and so Shelby right now is actually filing a bug report to Adobe to explain the problem that is crashing. And where Shelby is sitting in is the second dump station. So if you see right here, we have the second camera, the Insta360 Pro 2 right here, with 7 SD card reader right here, goes straight into my MacBook Pro. And here we're dumping all this footage into the Mac, then a lot of crazy routing into the server, again the QNAP right here. So everything gonna store in a one giant server. So multiple editor gonna plug in with Thunderbolt 3 into this server, pull footage and cut it. So we have one more editor coming in Shanghai, in the next city. So we'll at least have 3 people working on the footage at the same time. So this thing here is called eGPU, external graphic card, to power up my Mac. So they can provide power and rendering speed for my Mac to turn that into a PC if I have to. So just to summarize our challenge in this whole process is, be honest, I never try to film and finish in 360 piece in a week. That is really tough, and we need to finish everything on the road. And that's a lot of technical issue come up because we don't have big server and we're always on the move. Each time break down the whole setup and bring it back up, it should take me 5 hours. So we need to find a way to optimize this whole process. That's why the next city, as I will show you again, this studio setup, we should have a little bit improvement. We have a new server coming in by Main Gear. So give a big shout out to Chris from Main Gear to send us this machine. This machine have like really crazy spec with i9, the newest Intel i9 with like the Titan RTX with crazy amount of RAM. Hopefully it will help us to speed up the stitching processing. And hopefully Premiere will be more stable on a PC instead of a Mac scenario. And also hopefully we will get a better hotel. Our producer is helping us out there, so we have more space, so we are not putting our Stitchbox server in literally my bathroom, and I cannot keep this entire post-processing workflow. So I will see you guys next time.
And so our tour ends for now.
Yeah.
But people can watch this at Samsung VR?
Yeah, it's still being releasing right now as we're speaking. So we have more cities coming in. As Brian mentioned, we have 8 countries. So we have more countries coming in. And you can see our whole challenge unfold from the behind the scene. And the quality increase as well.
That's excellent. What would you tell, you know, you and I meant to tell you, in the beginning, I watched John Carmack videos.
Oh.
I watched video after video because John Carmack would always admit his mistakes. He'd always say, and this is where this got screwed up. And so that's how I learned, was by watching video before you were around. So if you were going to give advice to anybody who wanted to get into immersive, either cinematic or live, since you're doing both, what are the couple things that they need to know to succeed and not be discouraged?
Yeah, well, I will plug in my channel. You should go on YouTube and look on CreatorUp and subscribe to my channel.
Go on YouTube and look on CreatorUp.
But all seriousness, I think for everybody, you should just pick up the cheapest consumer camera, 360 camera you can find, and start to experience this media. I feel like this media is so new. First, you should come to an event like NAB to check out all the gear available from consumer all the way to professional equipment, and then pick up something that is affordable and start trying to go on a journey to film it. You don't need a budget, you don't need a crazy budget or any money to start creating media. There's a platform already on Samsung, on YouTube, on VR, on many platforms that allow immersive media for free. You can release your content and then people can watch it and you can learn from doing. And I think that's the best way to learn, is to learn from doing. There's no standard, there's no rule to set yet, so anybody can go and do it and make the mistake and learn from it. Even I'm doing it.
Well, you've done it beautifully.
Thank you.
Hugh, thank you so much for sharing with us and sharing the journey today. As I said before, the work is beautiful. I really look forward to its unfolding and coming out.
Thank you.
And we're going to say goodbye for now. I will see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, where we're going to talk about the state of the virtual reality and immersive, augmented reality, XR, VR, whatever you want to call it, industry. Stay tuned. There's more this afternoon from NAB Show Live from the NAB Show at Las Vegas Convention Center in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. Bye now.